Good morning. Good morning. I'm going to say it one more time. I say good morning. Good morning. I am so glad y'all came out to join us in our women's conference today. You look beautiful in your sunflower shirts. It's all about strength today. We stand on the strength of God. We are women that have strength no matter what. Through the good, bad, ugly, and indifferent. We stand on strength because God has given it to us. And we must share that strength with somebody else. The praise team is going to open us up with a song this morning. Feel free to stand up, clap your hands, sing along, join in. We're going to have a good time in the Lord. Y'all ready? We ready? We're going to celebrate this morning. Can y'all stand up, clap your hands? Yes, sir. We're going to celebrate. Once again, good morning. Good morning. For those that don't know, hey y'all, I'm Lisa Coleman. Hey. We're here to celebrate us today. We're here to celebrate strength that God has given us. I want to welcome each and every one of you here to share your Saturday morning with us today. I want to welcome friends, visitors, family, and all, members as well. I want you to have a good time in the Lord. I want you to have something to celebrate and share with your friends when you go to work on Monday, or even when you go home this afternoon. I want you all to feel welcome. Please know that by every means you're welcome once, you're welcome twice, you're welcome for the rest of your life. I just need to tell you something. I am not a speaker on the program today, but I do want to share this with each and every one of you. It is a lovely day. Yes. All in the neighborhood. Whether it was sunshine like it is, or if it was raining outside, guess what? It's a real good day to be alive. And whatever you're going through, know that you're still in the race. And you keep on moving right along. No matter what happens, rise up and be strong. All right, give yourself a hand. Our first speaker this morning, our first half of our program, let me say, is about the strength of a woman. And the first speaker that's coming up to share some knowledge with us about strength of a woman is Miss Tamala Mack. She's going to grace us with her presence and her radiant smile. Amen.
Good morning.
Good morning.
That's a hot question. So my verse this morning comes out of Psalms 46 and 5. And it reads, God is within her, she shall not be moved. So this verse is actually a verse of encouragement. And it encourages us to hope and to trust in God. To trust in his power and to trust his gracious presence in the worst of times. We can apply it in that Christ, we are more than conquerors. I used to love to listen to that song to remind me we are more than conquerors. And I would play it over and over in my head to help me through some dark places. It helped me to realize that God is always a present help. He's always there. And when I first read the part of this verse, God is within her, the word her is actually referring to the church. But in Psalms 24, it reads, the earth is the Lord and the fullness thereof, and they that dwell in it. So God is everywhere. He's everywhere. Even when we feel like he's not, he's there. And this tells us that not only is he in everything, but this is a promise that the church shall not be moved. Because the church actually is within us.
Tell my daughter
I wrote this 1,000 times. I'm not kidding. It's been about 4 days. I filled up my whole tablet with this one verse. And to me, it was just spicy. It was spicy. God, what does this mean? How does this apply to my life? And it says that if God is in our hearts by his word dwelling richly in us, that means that it's deeply rooted. It's deep. That we should be established and we should be helped. And to let us know to trust and not be afraid. That was hard for me. That was hard for me. But even when I read it, I asked myself, how does this apply? How can, someone who's lost hope apply this in their life? So this last 5 years, and this is just something that is personal for me that I feel like I should share.
It's broke.
So in the last.
Come on. Bring the strength, baby.
In the last 5 years of my life, it was the hardest time.
Okay. I'll go get it.
I didn't know where to actually go. I didn't know who to talk to, who I could share personal things with, who I couldn't. And one day, something happened. I went to thank you so much. I went to a graduation. And the graduation was actually a friend of mine, a good friend of mine from my old church. And her daughter was graduating college. And it was a real big deal because she struggled. I don't know why she did, I don't know. But she struggled. She struggled to get through college. And so we wanted to celebrate her big. So I go, even though I didn't want to, I knew I needed to be there. I go to this graduation, take my seat, mind my own business, and I didn't really care to talk. I was in a dark place. And this woman comes up to me about 30 minutes later, and she says, "I love your watch." And I look at my watch, "Thank you." And she says, "Can we be friends?" That's how she said it. And I said, "Okay." And she said, "First let me introduce myself." She said, "I am the college professor of Shaky, who is the graduate." And she said, "And it's something about you that drew me to come to introduce myself." She said, "Do you think that I could have your phone number and we could maybe go out to lunch?" I said, "Sure." I had no intentions of calling this woman. 2 days went by and she called me. And as she talked to me on the phone, she says, "How about if we meet for lunch at such and such a place, such and such a time?" So I go. And she's asked, we're talking, and I noticed she's trying to pull some stuff out of me. So as I got comfortable to share, she says to me, she says, "Do you know why I asked you for your number?" And I said, "I am so curious. You're a college professor, way out of my league, and I'm just little old me." She said, "Because your eyes were so sad." Here I was, going through years of painting a canvas on my face, just so I could be there for the ones that needed me. But what about when you need somebody?
Right.
What about that?
Right.
This lady went on to tell me that not only was she a college professor, but she was a licensed counselor. We never talked about counseling, and not in my family. That stuff you brush under the rug. We're not talking about those problems. The next day I was in counseling. Counseling, it was technically they charge by the hours. We were always supposed to last 1 hour. That first day my counseling lasted 3 hours. And thereafter, I went once a week and it lasted 2.5 hours. But here's the kicker. My insurance was out of network. It was out of network. She wasn't making any money on me. So I offered to pay. She said, "No, just pay your copay, and we want to keep doing it." She said, "You don't even have to pay. We got some work to do." But do you know, through that woman, I learned that when I didn't think I could stand on these 2 feet of mine, she stuck in there with me for 3 years to make sure that the battles I was going through, I could stand. Today, I'm here to encourage you that when you know God, my grandmother used to tell me, know God for yourself. When you know God for yourself, even when you can't feel His presence, you can stand. You're able to stand through the hard times. How do you deal with people that literally turn from you? God said, "Don't worry about that. I got you." how do you deal with life? I had to give up some things that didn't feel good to me. I gave up my home of 20 years. I sold it. I didn't want to move, but circumstances brought that to me. My kids slept at two of my girlfriends' houses for a month until I could secure a place for us to live. I've always had help. I've always been married most of my life, but that was the darkest time. These last 5 years was the darkest time of the 53 years that I've lived. But you know what? God is an awesome God. This radiant smile, Lisa, I had to go into the darkness to find it. I had to find it. But God was there. He's a present help, and all is not lost. So I hope I encourage somebody to know that just because you go through it, the world is not over. He says go through it. It's not going to feel good all the time. We know that. But if we believe that God is who he says he is, we'll be okay. So that's
but it'll be all right. We're going to stand on the strength of God this morning. How about that? Our next speaker coming up, ooh, it's going to be good. She already know I'm nervous. Let's listen to Brenda Johnson. She's going to bring us style and fashion and give us a little taste. How about that? Come on.
Speak, BJ.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Those of you who know me well know I'm normally not a nervous person, but I'm nervous today. But I'm going to take out my shoes and I'm going to stand on the strength of Christ.
Amen.
Philippians 4:13, I can do all things through Christ which strengthens me. In Philippians 4:13, Paul, during his time of imprisonment, he found his sense of hope, strength, and joy in Philippians 4:13. I can do all things through Christ, which strengthens me, and he looked to Christ for that strength. Our subject today is the strength of a woman. And like Paul, we as women, we can find our hope, our joy, and our strength through Christ because we know he strengthens us. I want to talk to you real briefly about two different women on two different paths in life who had to fight to overcome adversity. The first woman I want to speak of is American Idol star Fantasia Barrino. Fantasia tells the story of how she was a teenage single mother living in poverty. She had been sexually abused, she was illiterate, and she found fear came her way in every direction. Fantasia tells us had it not been for her strength of praying, her strength, and she just had to pray. She fasted, she prayed, and she found her strength in Philippians 4:13. She said, had it not been for Philippians 4:13, she didn't know where she would be today. Fantasia is a stronger woman today. She found her joy, she found her hope, and she found her strength in Philippians 4:13. The next story is yours truly. This is my story. At the age of 35, I was diagnosed with chronic epilepsy. I was ordered to stop driving and working immediately. Just think about when you're an independent person, in business for yourself, used to driving yourself, used to taking care of yourself. But now, I'm at the mercy of God and all of those around me who had to take me to doctor's appointments. My mother and my sister would talk like I was a kid when the doctor was talking to me. You want to do this? No, she don't. I think you can have surgery. No, she ain't. My mother, as long as she can get her medicine, that's what she gonna do. You ain't cutting on my baby's brain. But, as I didn't know, actually, literally, how I was going to provide not only for myself, but for my son as well. Because being a hairstylist, I had to close my salon suite right away. Whew. I'm glad I don't look like what I've been like. That's all I can stop and say right there. But looking back over my life and where I am today, I know then and I know now that I could do all things through Christ, which strengthens me. As women, we draw our strength and to overcome our fear, and we draw our strength to help us with our journey. We know there will be changes and challenges along the way, but giving up is not an option. In the words of Helen Reed, I am woman her reward, and numbers too big to ignore. And I know too much to go back and pretend. Because I've heard it all before, and I've been down there on the floor. But I refuse to let anybody bring me down again. Yes, I'm wise. It's wisdom born from pain. Jesus paid the price, but look at what we've all gained. If we had to, we can do anything because we're strong, we're invincible, we are women. Women, I say to you today, we are loved, we are chosen, we are called. And not only can we do a few things, not only can we do some things, but we can do all things in Jesus Christ, who strengthens us.
Okay, Miss Jerry, come, baby. We're gonna bring Miss Jerry up here, and she's gonna give us a little insight on strength. Govern yourself accordingly.
You know, I'm trying to get back to doing my announcements because I was good. And I enjoy doing it. You know what I'm saying? Hello, sunflower. I don't have anything with you because I can't write, because I can't see. That's not nothing.